Welcome to Destination Charging, a podcast by Powerdot, your insight into the future of sustainable mobility. Join us as we explore the different perspectives of those who are accelerating the world towards a greener future.
So welcome to the Destination Charging podcast, a podcast by Powerdot. My name is Afonso and I'm one of the founders and chief product officer at Powerdot. Today we have here with us Yoann Nussbaumer, CEO of the Brakson Group, of which Chargemap is a part of. Yoann, thank you very much for taking the time and for being here today. I'm sure everyone in this audience knows about Chargemap, but if you want to introduce yourself and explain a little bit about what Chargemap is and what you guys are doing.
So nice to be here, and I'm very glad to take the time for you for the conversation. So I'm Yoann, I'm the founder and CEO of Chargemap. I've been driving an EV for 13 years, and I'm tech enthusiast and an entrepreneur for more than 20 years. At Chargemap, we are building a mobile app, single mobile app to find the charging station, to charge your car with a single RFID card we call the Chargemap Pass. And we also provide services for business when they want to make their fleet goes to electric.
Thanks a lot, Yoann. I think that as one of the largest pan-European charge point operators in Europe and one of probably the largest EMSP in France, I think we have a unique view on what the challenges and what are the main blockers for achieving sustainable mobility for users, for EMSPs, for CPOs, for regulators. So I think this can be a very interesting conversation. And I would like to start with a little bit about the background of Chargemap. As you said, you are driving an EV for 13 years. That's probably more than a lot of the people that I know, and probably more than the average EV user today. The fact that you are driving an EV for the last 13 years, what were the motivations for you to start Chargemap? Like how did the company came to be? Can you give us a little bit of a color on Chargemap's background?
Yes, for sure. In fact, the adventure started in 2008 when I discovered the Tesla Roadster, a sleek sports car with 350 kilometers of range that could go from 0 to 100 kilometers per hour under 4 seconds. And for me, this was my proof that electric cars could be both exciting and practical. So the same evening, I started a blog to share my excitement about the future of electric vehicles. I envisioned a world where all car manufacturers will need to produce electric cars, or at least those with minimal environmental footprints. And my blog quickly connected me with a car manufacturer who invited me to test their prototypes, like the Nissan Leaf and the Renault Zoe. So this end-on experience was really invaluable, and I wanted to share it with my readers. But there was still one big question I had. It was about the charging infrastructure. And at the time, there were a very few public charging stations. And I realized that the beauty of electric vehicles is that you can charge them anywhere there is electricity. And this led me to create a mobile app to help drivers to find and also document, with the help of the community, the charging station, which became the start of Chargemap. And the blog helped me to build a small but passionate community around Chargemap. And realizing the project potential, I teamed up with my friend Akane Babil, which is the CTO of the company right now, and we founded the company in 2015, and we raised €500,000 the following year to build Chargemap. And during this process, we noticed that there was a major pain point for the users. And this pain point was that each charging network required a different RFID card and an account, at least in France. And to solve this, we aim to create a single app and a RFID card to access all charging stations. That was our vision. So we launched the Chargemap Pass in June 17, and at this time, testing was really a challenge. And I remember driving 4,000 kilometers in 4 days with my Model S across France to ensure that everything worked. Uh, so honestly, that was not always the case, but that was okay to launch the Chargemap Pass. And despite initial resistance from some networks, the Chargemap Pass was a huge success, and our user base grew very rapidly. And today we have nearly 2.4 million members and more than 2,000 companies using our business solution. And that success would not have been possible with the incredible team we've built over the year. So yeah, that's the story of Chargemap.
So congratulations. I mean, 2.4 million users, it's quite an achievement. And I've been a witness of your success story, at least for the past 5 years, 6 years since we started Powerdot, and very happy to be able to witness it and be a partner of Chargemap. So looking back at 2017, when you launched the Chargemap Pass, what were the main challenges for you in the beginning to launch the Chargemap Pass? Was it the CPO, the networks were resistant to that single solution? Was it a technological challenge? So what were the main challenges for you while starting the company?
Yeah, the main challenge was that no CPO was ready to accept the Chargemap Pass and to accept roaming. In France, roaming was non-existent. So yeah, we started from scratch. We faced a lot of difficulties here from CPOs. They just wanted to keep their users and they don't wanted to share their network. They saw us as the stranger coming to their network. So yeah, that was difficult. But on the other hand, we had all our users behind us because they trusted us. They loved the product Chargemap and they wanted us to succeed. So yeah, but the main challenge was that the ecosystem wasn't ready for roaming, at least in France, because we started in France.
So fast forwarding 7 years to today, how important do you see the collaboration between CPOs and EMSPs, the importance of interoperability and roaming, and how have you seen it evolve across the years? Do you sense that CPOs have become more open and EMSPs have become more open to this collaboration, and how important it is for you and for the company and for the future of electric mobility?
Yeah, for me, the collaboration between CPO and EMP is really essential for the user journey, for the user experience. And yeah, it's also very important right now when we are seeing a very big increase in charging volumes. So the entire charging ecosystem faces the challenge of scaling IT systems and processes. So this is really important. And for example, from the Chargemap perspective, we still encounter many errors in the data from CPOs, and we are very working actively with them to ensure that these issues are corrected. And this is where having a huge community of users, of drivers really helps, because we are able to provide valuable data to CPOs. Yes, sometimes EMPs and CPO might see each other as competitors, but cooperation is also very vital to provide a high quality experience for every customer. And at Chargemap, our goal is to ensure that our users can charge everywhere, but we want also to drive more traffic to our partner CPOs and make a win-win situation. So yeah, we are very proud to work with Powerdot, and we see in your team a real commitment to ensure an excellent user experience. So yeah, that's nice to have that kind of partnership. For with other CPO, it's sometimes more difficult to be honest.
In picking on that, on the user experience, I know that you guys at Chargemap value in we also at Powerdot, we put the user at the forefront, and we want to make sure that the user has the best experience and the most seamless experience possible. One of the ways, obviously, that the way to get there is make sure that the user can charge by whatever means. Interoperability is key there. But in terms of at ChargeMap, putting the user at the center of the experience, I recently noted that your team is currently on a tour across France, visiting
Yeah,
several
right.
charging stations, listening to the users. Can you describe a little bit of or talk a little bit on the culture inside ChargeMap of putting the user at the center of the experience, listening to the user, and talk a little bit about the product strategy within the company?
Yeah, for sure. So um, I started as the product manager of the company as a user, and I think it, yeah, the culture has just followed that path. Right now, we have a product team. I think the product team is right now 6 people. We just hired some new guys, and we really take the time to listen to our users by with interviews, but also with the comments that they share with us. For example, in the app stores, in every point of the user experience, we try to get some feedbacks and to improve the user experience. We also really encourage all the employees to use electric cars. And for that, we have electric cars for renting inside the company so they can just experiment and be really aware of what it is to drive an EV, to experiment charging, sometimes to fail to charge and to understand the feeling uh, of a failure of charge. And this is really important to build a product for the drivers. So yeah, so that's the culture, and yeah, we are trying to build a new chapter in the Chargemap app. Um, for a long time, we were a solution. The app was a solution to find a charging station. Right now, we see the app more as a way to compare the charging station between them, and that's really important. We want to provide the right way to compare quality, prices, and other criteria, so you can choose the best charging station for your trip, for your need right now, and this is really important.
And if you can recall, do you have like an example of a feature where you were not seeing it, and then you received some user feedback, and then you decided to change the experience on the app?
Yeah, I can recall the the first version of our route planner. We built it with the Google's APIs, and it was not good at all. We were yeah the calculation times were really not good, and yeah, the quality of the product was not good, and we never shipped it. And at that time, we took the decision to build a team just for this feature, it was really unique for us to build a team around a specific feature, and it was a bet also because we weren't sure to find the right way to build a route planner. And yeah, we took that risk, and right now we have I think a very good product for route planning. And the fact that we have the technology inside Chargemap, we can build a different product that you can find in other platform, for example. So we are very flexible. We can add new feature, unique feature, and we are not limited by the technology, or at least by another technology. So yeah, that's a nice story, I think, about the product.
Very cool. And you were saying before that you encourage the people that work at Chargemap to drive EVs and not only experience charging, but I think perhaps more importantly, experiencing sometimes failure to charge, to really understand the pains that users face, and I think only connecting with the user, you can feel that. We do exactly the same at Powerdot. Everyone is encouraged to drive an EV and actually go through the pains, to be closer to the user. And looking back at Chargemap's history, do you have a particular moment in time where you thought we made it, or like an inflection point? Now you have 2.4 million users, right? But was there a moment in time where an exponential growth happened, and can you attribute any reason for it?
It's hard to say, but maybe one good memory was when we launched the Chargemap Pass. So we just we made a soft launch, so everything was okay. We had a few orders and so on. And as I said, I drove a lot to test the Chargemap Pass before launch, and I took some vacations and holidays at this time. And I said the marketing team, yeah, just send an email to everyone, to all of our members, to explain that we are launching the Chargemap Pass. And then we received a lot of orders. We weren't ready to to do that, so that was really we were surprised by the success of the Chargemap Pass when we launched it. And I remember the team, I was in holiday, and they all organized the shipment of the Chargemap Pass to to thousands of users and customers. And yeah, that was I don't know if it's an inflection point, but really a moment when we said, okay, we are on the right path.
Yeah, very cool. I can imagine. So, in everything started out with a blog, right? And then you build it up to this app that's initially meant to allow users to find the charges, and then later on to be able to actually charge. Um, how did the group, the Brakson Group, of which you are the CEO and founder, evolve from there? Because you have several companies in the same ecosystem, all aligned with the same purpose, I guess. But media, MSP, how did that came to be, and what's the story behind that?
Yeah, the story behind that is that we are trying to help people to switch to EVs and renewable energies. So we try to cover all the needs of users in this story. For example, we are starting with the media, so you can um, learn about electric cars. So our medias are only in French, but you can learn about electric cars, you can learn about renewable energy, and you can also learn about two wheels and electric bikes and so on. So this is the media side. And then we have Chargemap. Chargemap is currently the biggest companies of the group. And then we have a company that sell charging station, charging cables, materials. And we are currently in the process of building a training company, because we know that a lot of fleet manager experiment some difficulties to help drivers to switch to electric cars. So we want to provide them with materials to just train their employees.
Well, being probably the largest MSP in France, 2.4 million users, as you said, you receive a tremendous amount of data from users. You are exposed to this data, and you probably have a unique insight on the trends. For you, what are the main trends in EV mobility that you were able to see from that data? Perhaps going back 2 to 3 years ago, where I know the infrastructure in France was not what it is today. It grew a lot in the past 3 years. Fortunately, we've been able to lead that growth in France. But how do you see the main trends in terms of user behavior? How have they evolved from 3 years ago to now that we have a more robust infrastructure in France, particularly in fast and ultra fast charging?
At Chargemap, we see that people are increasingly paying attention to the reputation of charging networks. For me, this is a trend, and factors such as quality, price, equipment play a significant role, and ratings and comments on Chargemap are crucial when users are evaluating a charging station. We also observe two distinct behaviors regarding price. We have some users that prioritize location and charging speed over cost, while others will alter their route to find the cheapest charging station. So two opposite behaviors. We also see that users also tend to avoid charging station with complicated pricing schemes. They don't want that. They don't want a pricing they don't understand. And maybe one other trend we can see in countries like France, planning a route is becoming less relevant due to the huge number of charging stations along airways. So yeah, it's less critical to plan your route and every step. But we also see that a new issue is slowly emerging. It's the need to know the charging station occupancy, because during peak hours, some station may be full, and sometimes very full, requiring users to find alternative or rating. And sometimes it might lead to a stressful situation. So yeah, that's the trends we can see right now at Chargemap.
So you mentioned that you have probably two separate groups of users. There might be more, but you mentioned these two. So number one, probably users that value more location and charging speed, and the other ones, users that value more costs. I would probably even split it into three, right? Users that value more location, other users value more charging speed, and probably third group costs. So going and maybe doing a little bit of a deep dive on the users that value location, because after that you mentioned that planning a route is becoming less important, and that's maybe for en route charging, right? So people that need to go from point A to point B, traveling probably a long distance, and they will need to charge along the way. But there are other facets of mobility, of driving an EV, and the day-to-day lives of EV users, which is users that are not able to charge at home, but still use their car on the day-to-day basis, and probably that's destination charging, right?
Right.
And users that value location are probably valuing location through convenience. But my question for you is, how do you see the importance of destination charging for the proliferance of EV cars and electric mobility? And do you spot any key trends on destination charging particularly?
Yeah, so for me, destination charging is really a big deal for EV users. It means you can charge your car at places where you spend a lot of time, like work, but also malls, hotels, and so on. And this makes it easy to keep your battery full while you are going about your day, and it reduces worries about running out of charge, and also making electric cars more practical. And for sure, it's great for people who can't install a charger at home or don't have a parking spot. And I think this is critical to help more people to switch to electric cars. But we still have a lot of people for who it's difficult to switch to EVs because of charging, and destination charging is really a key for them. So I think this is really important.
And have you been noticing any trend on people starting to realize that when they go to their local supermarket, or when they go to the shopping mall, or when they go to a particular place inside their routines, there is a charger there? And do you think that people are realizing more and more that when they go to these places, they can simply leave their car charging while they go about their shopping or about whatever they're going to do, and they don't need to fill up until 100%. They can just do whatever they were going to do, and they can just plug whenever they park their car because there is a charger there. Are you seeing this becoming more and more a reality based on the insights and data that you have?
Yeah. It's really for me, it's a trend. We have more supermarket with chargers, and it's becoming an habit for some users, some drivers, even if they have charging station at home. So I have examples in my family. They have a charging station at home, but sometimes it's easier, quicker, more practical to charge at the supermarket. And yeah, I think this is a very important trend right now. And I think also it can the supermarkets can attract new customers, new people that are also en route, instead of charging during when they are in the highway. They can just take the time to go to the supermarket and to also to eat at the mall. And yeah, for me, this is a new way to charge when you have an electric car.
Yeah, and if you think about it, it can be more convenient than owning an ICE, right? Because you don't need to go to a specific place just to fill up the car. You do your life, and you charge while you're doing your life. So at the end of the day, it's actually more convenient. But yeah, so and what about, we've talked a little bit about trends, user trends, and insights you might have around that. What about the thinking about the next years, and when I talk about the next years, maybe the next 12 to 24 months, and then a little bit after that, how do you see the industry evolving in technological terms? Any innovations that you already have your sights on, or that you think will be very important for this transition?
Yeah, for me, I think that the challenge will be to remove the RFID pass. So that's our goal at Chargemap. We want full digital transaction for charging. So for me, plug and charge will be two technologies that will be increasingly important in the EV ecosystem, because it's easier for the user. So we still get there. The user experience, this is super important, and this is key for the success of electric cars. So yeah, for me, plug and charge is a technology which is still difficult to implement, and it's heavy. And the goal is also to publish a new addition to the CPI protocol, so other CPOs, EMP can use it. So because it will benefit to the user, and that's important. Even it's not only Chargemap or only Powerdot, we also work as an ecosystem, and it's important to contribute to this ecosystem.
Yeah, fully aligned. I think we share that view, and that's why we're working together. And without going into a technological discussion, plug and charge, I think at the end of the day, our goal is to deliver the experience of plugging and starting to charge. Like that's the experience we want to give, regardless of how we get there in the technology. I think we're all working towards improving our users' lives and how easy they can charge. You mentioned before removing the RFID experience and moving fully to digital. What are the main blockers today for that to be achieved? What's your view on that?
For me, it's the charging networks, CPOs, that are not always ready. And sometimes also just on the charging station, it's difficult to see which charging station you will start the session when you are in the app. So we are lacking the physical reference on the charging stations. And for some users, it's also difficult to use a mobile app. For older people to use a mobile app to start the charge. So I think still plug and charge are a good key to just remove that.
For you, what would be the ideal experience as a user driving an EV? In terms of, let's say, on your daily life, how would you go about it? How would it be the ideal experience? Like getting into the car, do you have a routine? Do you select on the car to find you the best charger? Do you already go to a specific place and then you charge and then you shop? How for you? How would be the ideal experience?
Yeah, for me, the ideal experience is to have everything displayed on the car, and being able to plan a route if I need, but not to plan the steps, but just to say, here is the destination when I want to go, and then seeing the next maybe the three next charging station, the availability, and maybe the price, and the ability to just choose the right charging station. And it's the same in the daily life when I'm not traveling. It's to the ability to compare all the charging station really quickly and find the best option for me inside the car. That will be the best user experience. So for us, we really want to achieve this experience for the customer. Sometimes we are just let's say frustrated by the CarPlay and Android Auto automotive difficulties to build that. As an external developer, it's sometimes difficult to make a good user experience on those platforms, and that's a pity. It's also difficult sometimes to have the access to the car data. And yeah, I think this is also something that need to change in the future. The access to the car data should be opened to software developers, external software developers.
have you had any experiences working with OEMs in terms of accessing that data? Are they making MSP's life difficult with regards to that?
We had experience long time ago, but it's no longer relevant. And right now we are trying to find the right contact to work with them. And yeah, it's difficult, but maybe we don't put too much energy on it right now because we have all other challenges like scaling. But we will work on it in the future for sure.
Yeah, I know. And working with your teams, with Julien and Akin and Matteo, I know you guys have a pretty packed roadmap, which I'm excited to see. But you also have a very, very strong team working on it. So I know you'll be successful. And I think, Yoann, on my side, this is it. Thank you very much for joining the podcast today and for your time. And very excited to see what's coming on our collaboration. Thank you very much.
Me too. Yeah, thank you for having me. See you soon, Afonso.
Thank you for listening to Destination Charging. For more insights and to stay connected with our mission to accelerate sustainable mobility, please visit our show notes for links and further resources. Don't forget to review and subscribe on your favorite podcast app. Until next time, and keep moving forward with Destination Charging.